You've read the title of this video, right? So you know that I'm going to answer the question of if Big Order is worth watching. Well, short answer, no. Long answer, let's start with the positives, shall we? Might as well get this bit out of the way. So the series has a interesting concept. Unfortunately, it's rather overplayed. We have a wish-granting fairy god who goes around giving people superpowers according to some wish or desire that they may have. This includes our main character, Eiji, who was only a child and wished for... well, they're actually rather coy about exactly what he wished for, taking forever to actually answer the question. But regardless, the result of his wish was that there was a giant calamity and hundreds of thousands of people died. Tragic backstory. Check. Now, 10 years later, our hero, if you want to call him that, is attempting to lay low and take care of his wheelchair-bound sister. Cliché character who will no doubt be used as a bargaining chip later. Check. Some other superpowered people eventually identify and track him down, and then capture his sister, called it, and then an immortal assassin not Yuno Gasai character named Rin appears. She holds a grudge against Eiji for the death of her family. Future romance character. Check. It doesn't matter that she wants to kill him, and I'll get to that. But it turns out that Eiji's superpower is that wherever he walks, he can add space to his domain. This is important because anything and anyone within his domain can be placed under his absolute control. He more or less becomes a god inside of his domain, able to control even things like air pressure and, to some extent, gravity. More importantly, he quickly grabs control of the aforementioned assassin Rin and orders her to never ever harm him or his sister, and to never leave his domain. He also offhandedly says that he'll marry her, in a scene that really makes no damn sense. But apparently that counts as an order, so now Rin gets to have conflicting feelings of wanting to kill Eiji, but also potentially marry him. So, yandere. Check. Also, still not Yuno Gasai. The potential here for this series was rather large. You have a character who is basically a god who now wants to take over the world in an attempt to bring about world peace. And you know, we've seen other characters with much less OP abilities do quite well, which is depressing because of how absolutely bad Eiji is at it. He has nobody in his corner, and even considering his overpowered abilities, there are still people trying to use him for their own purposes, which makes little sense. In the show, the 10 most powerful people in all of Japan fall within Eiji's domain very early on, in episode 2 no less, and yet despite being both within Eiji's domain and supposedly under his control, they treat him as the puppet. And he goes along with it. Have some freaking backbone, man. I cannot remember the last time that watching a series was so painful. At least, like, if I popped in a series from the 80s or older, I could say that, well, you know, it's old, so most of its flaws just kind of make sense. It's for its age, but this is an airing series, so what the heck? Overall, it just screams that it's like this poor man's combination of Future Diary and Code Geass. Two things that, if done right, could be executed very well. But here, they just are not. The main character is not relatable at all. Eiji is not someone who I have a reason to care about because with full knowledge of his abilities, he doesn't use them to their full potential. And I don't know why. It's almost like he doesn't have a reason for doing anything. Sure, his sister could be motivation, but she's tucked away quickly enough to be unmemorable. Maybe it's because of guilt? He was responsible for the death of thousands of people, but if that was the case, why wouldn't he be trying harder to make sure that more people don't die? Like, he does try, but just, he more or less allows himself to be controlled by others when his powers dictate that he should be the one controlling. And as a character, the not Yuno Gasai Rin isn't much better, as her whole purpose is to be the character who constantly screams, "I'm going to kill you!" Even though we all know full well that she can't. At least, not directly. But hey, at least she can be about to give us some needless fan service, right? Because why the hell not at this point? I don't have a reason to care about the show. I don't have a reason to want to enjoy this show. I don't have a desire to see where this show is going, except for one. The only reason that I would continue watching this train wreck is because, like most train wrecks, they are fascinating to watch just explode. I've reached the point where I'm no longer watching this show because I'm invested in the characters or intrigued by the story. I'm watching it still because I honestly want to see how much worse the show can get. So, do I think that you should watch this show? No! The series appears to be driven by their characters and superpowers, yet never bothers to give them all proper explanations when it really should. Multiple times so far, the plot has relied on Deus Ex Machina events to solve problems, which is a horrible way to continually progress your plot, and on top of this, everyone's motivations are just vague. It's like the show is trying to be clever by keeping people's motivations in the dark, but really it's just frustrating. And to me, it's giving off this feeling that they are just making it up as they go along. And you know, I was half hoping to be surprised by how it all turned out, considering that it was originally written by the same author as Future Diary, and that story, well, it had an absolutely shit finale because it, just fell apart at the end, but for large chunks of it, Future Diary was really, really good. This, not so much. Anyway, despite being unlicensed at present, if you desire to, you can watch the series over on Crunchyroll. And if you follow the link in the description, crunchyroll.com/clashreflection, you can have a free trial of their premium services, should you require it. But I really want to know, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the whatchamajig. And for those of you who are, further along in the series, as I say every time, no spoilers, please. Not that I really think it should matter, I'm just trying to set precedent here. So thank you for joining me on this first reaction. If you like this sort of thing, hit the like button to let me know. And if you have an idea or thought of what series I should go and talk about next, maybe try out, see maybe if other people might like it, let me know down in the comments, though chances are I am doing it already, or by this point have already done it. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.